The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain. We have another amazing show for you. As we always do, got some great guests, pillars in the community when it comes to organizations. But as you know, this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if I did not give grace to an amazing Father that makes this all possible. I usually do that with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, all that being said, we have two amazing guests on the show today, or two amazing organizations on the show today, and two amazing guests. And she said nobody puts a baby in the corner, but unfortunately we did put our first guest in our second guest in the corner, Mimi with We Care Tucson. Thank you, Mimi, for being so considerate and patient. But our first guest, one of my, I guess, top two favorite nonprofits I pretty much have in the studio today. We Care Tucson being one of those, our guest that we'll be having on the second half of the show. And the other one, and what I said pretty much throughout the years, because I've had a relationship with PEP Inc. in some capacity for maybe over a decade now. Whether it was Veteran Rescue Mission, PEP Youth Build, help build our tiny houses at our shelter, to, PEP Inc. being, a partner with our show for 6 years now, I believe it is, that PEP is one of my favorite nonprofits in the world. Like, it's just like, and it's not just, how supportive they've been to our organization, but the more and more you learn about this organization, the more variety and the more kind of a plethora of what they do and the different populations that they serve. So all that to say, welcome Kate Meyer to the show.
Thank you.
And Kate Meyer is with Be Free Pima and the Youth Coalition, but out of your words, like, definitely someone who's been with the organization for a while now, who is PEP Inc.?
So aside from all the work that PEP Inc. does across the world, helping people in rural communities find education and opportunity, in our prevention department, we do the Be Free Pima Coalition Youth Group. And we work with the youth on Wednesdays at the John Valenzuela Youth Center, and we work with the teens on resilience building and skill building and social skills and drug prevention.
Nice. And I guess it's kind of just a quick bunny hop backwards, just from your standpoint, because I always love to think, working in the nonprofit sector for so long in my life, I love to find what makes people tick to get in there. Like, what drove you to be part of PEP Inc. and what drove you to be kind of part of this work, and how has it fulfilled you since your participation?
I started with PEP about 9 years ago, and I ran the Youth Coalition and the subcommittees of the Community Prevention Coalition.
Okay.
So it's a substance misuse prevention coalition, and the mission is to prevent underage drinking and other youth substance misuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really try to work with schools and teachers and providers and social service networks, and as well as treatment facilities on helping families and youth who are in need. Nice.
And so with Be Free Pima, speak of like the current work that you're doing, that initiative is pushing forward, and then what's kind of on the horizon that people can be part of.
So right now there's a big threat in our community with fentanyl and carfentanil. Carfentanil just came on the scene in Pima County within the last few weeks, and it's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. which is 100 times more potent than morphine. And so there's been overdose deaths in Pima County that have actually gone down over the last year. In 2023, we had 610 overdose deaths, and 14 of those were youth between the ages of 13 and 19. And in 2024, we had less. We had 491 overdose deaths, 3 of those being youth between the ages of 13 and 19. And so we're just trying to get in front of as many school populations as possible to talk to youth about not taking pills at parties, not knowing what might be in them because they would probably be laced with fentanyl.
This, for the first time, I'm hearing this term, carfentanil. And I've worked with the homeless population for 2 decades. So you definitely are ahead of the game, even on me. So fill me in on exactly what is this carfentanil, its derivative, and what do we deal with here? Because fentanyl is even a relatively new drug, that's kind of taken over maybe the past decade, 15 years tops.
Yeah.
So carfentanil, fill me in a little more.
So carfentanil is another opioid similar to fentanyl, but it's, like I said, 100 times stronger than fentanyl. So like the tiniest bit is enough for a person to experience an overdose.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing, are we seeing it being out and about kind of among the population in the same way that we're seeing fentanyl?
So there's only been a few cases so far in Pima County, but if the trend follows what happened with fentanyl over the last 7 years, then I would assume that there would be an increase.
Mm-hmm. So speak more to exactly, what you guys are doing to kind of combat this, and again, the other ways that people can kind of plug into it, because I'm sure as people are listening to this right now, myself even personally, like, okay, what can I do? How can I help? Yeah.
So the youth put together a really cool Narcan YouTube a couple years ago of them advertising that like anyone can be a hero and to carry Narcan, because you see people all the time at like bus stops and everywhere around town like slumped over because they're probably on fentanyl. And so having Narcan is very important for the community to understand like what that is and how that helps reverse an opioid. And so what that is, it's a opioid antagonist, and it reverses the effects of an overdose. So where someone is not breathing while they're overdosing, Narcan reverses that overdose and allows them to breathe again.
So is that something that they could get from you guys, or it's Be Free Pima kind of gets that information out to people to let them know where they can find that? Yeah,
you can get it from us. You can also get it at any of the Pima County public libraries. They all have a supply of Narcan for the public.
Nice. So for people that are listening, if they want to donate, if they want to volunteer, if they want to participate, how can they do that?
So you can call our office. It's 520-205-4781, and that's our Community Prevention Coalition office, but we are the parent organization of Be Free Pima. We also have Gym Click raffle tickets available for $20 each, or is $5 for $100, and you can win a car or plane tickets to anywhere, or $5,000, and all of that money goes directly to support Be Free Pima and the drug prevention education that they put out in the community. That's
awesome. Well, that's amazing. And I guess real quick, tell the PEP website.
Is ppep.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.
Well, that's Kate Meyer with Be Free Pima. Definitely check them out. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission. Definitely, as always, want to give a special thanks to our partners and sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson, We Care Tucson, 100 plus guys who give, White Stallion Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, Dawn Till Dust Landscaping, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Hope Dealer Global, CB2PGA, and Pep Inc. We'll have all that and more after the break. But we're going to go take a little time, thank our sponsors in a little more extended of a way. But remember, at the end of every day, it's night.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, and as I promised you, we have another amazing guest here in studio with you, and we have like sitting in the corner, but like not the bad corner, the good corner. Sorry, Mimi, I put you in the bad corner. We have Beverly with Candle Lighters. You'll get to hear from her later, but Mimi. Hey, you're good friends. Only good friends go on the bad corner. So, but literally, like I feel like I've known you forever, but I know we've only known each other for a few years. But a few years, it's been a rich few years, and I think
it's been a ride.
We were fast friends just because not only did our personalities match, but our organizations and the work that we were doing really match. You know, you can kind of, in speaking to each other, we could tell that, okay, this person cares and this person's about doing some stuff and taking some serious action. So it's just, let me say, it's been such a blessing, you know, as you've heard me say many times, to have you as a mentor, you know, to teach me, this is how it's done. You know, this is how a nonprofit does it right in the community. So I appreciate that. So, and that's Mimi with We Care Tucson. That's the organization we're talking about. We Care Tucson is on
Stone, 3029 North Stone.
On Stone, just north of Fort Lowell, right?
Just south of Fort Lowell.
So I've been
north
there
of
a
Glen.
dozen times, but yeah, it was my TBI talking. but anyways, it's crazy. I feel like it's maybe been literally since last had you on the show, because you've just been so busy doing this or doing that. So fill me in. Since the last time we've had you in studio, what have you been up to?
So since the last time I've been in the studio, we've changed the store around, so you got to come in and check it out.
Okay.
We have expanded our youth programming, the youth initiatives, and you know, we took the space where all the medical supplies were and put it into the side room, and that center space is now a classroom.
Oh, okay.
It's where we have the kids camp, where we teach the computer classes, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Of course, the store is still there with all the great stuff, and the community has stepped up and been donating their used laptops, keeping them out of the landfill, and the medical supplies. And so we've been busy with that. But I'm most proud of our youth initiative stuff.
Yeah.
We did Cyclovia, and we did partner with Bear Essential News and advertise the camp. And by the second week of April, we have been completely full for camp. We have a waiting list.
That's amazing.
So it's great, and we added an extra week, and we increased the number of campers that are allowed. So we now are at we're really over 30 campers, and so it's exciting. And now it's not just tech camp, it's robotics camp as well. So 1 week's tech, 1 week's robotics, and then 1 week tech, 1 week's robotics. Then we partnered with Ochoa Elementary again, and we're doing a week there. And we now partnered with a daycare center that's on Stone, and we're going to do a week of camp there as well. So we're really excited about the growth and stuff.
Man, it's wild. And as you're saying all this, and I definitely I want to touch base on the events that you've done since we last spoke and the events you have coming up. But I also, just as you're talking about this, it just kind of reminds me of the hero's journey, or the founder's journey, or the director's journey with a nonprofit, where you get into it or you start it, and you have one thing in your mind, and then as you go on this journey, it goes on so many winds and turns, and then you find yourself in this kind of this beautiful valley, and it's like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm gonna hang around for a while.
It's like a lazy river.
Yeah,
you're
for
just
sure.
kind of winding and flowing.
Yeah, I say all that to ask the question of, would you have ever suspected that you had been this involved with working with kids when initiating some of the initial programs for We Care Tucson? Because like definitely, I feel like since we've had you on the show, we were talking about a lot of, how do we get these medical supplies and how do we get the electronics to disenfranchised population, the elder population, and now it's just you've added on kind of another sector that you're really serving in a really impactful way.
It's of course we still have the medical supplies and we're out in the senior community, but kids have always been my passion. I've worked with kids all my life almost, from being a theater director and children's theater and working with special needs kids and doing all of that. I was glad I was able to incorporate it.
So you saw it coming, probably one way or the
I
other.
wanted it to come.
Okay, so
you
helped manifest it.
Yeah, or actually,
in a good way. I say that the best way possible.
Well, I always feel, and you'll appreciate this, that it's God's hand.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Guiding it. If it was meant to be, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it has. And we've been lucky to get funding for it and support. And what was very interesting was the parents that were like, well, what about for us? We want to do it. And then we did the family robotics. We did the Robo Rumble. And it turned out more successful than I could have ever hoped. And they're asking when's the next one, and it's coming up July 26th. We're going to do Cyborg Water Wars, where they'll build a cyborg hand water gun and go out. We'll use the yard, and what a great time in July. It'll be hot, and it'll be perfect to do that.
That's awesome. So you have that event coming up, and then what else? What other events do you have coming up?
Well, we are excited that we are partnering with the town of Oro Valley, and our Pickalicious Jingle Jam will now be held in Oro Valley it'll be the Oro Valley Pickalicious Jingle Jam, December 12th, 13th, and 14th at their community center, at the Community Rec Center. Okay. And so we're excited for that.
Nice. Man.
Registration opens September 1st.
What's next, Mimi? What's next? Man, it's just, I would have never, even a year ago, I would have never guessed kind of that this stuff would have taken off like a nuclear bomb like it has. But I mean, how exciting are you with that pairing and that, that upcoming event?
I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be great. And my hope is that we grow it and that it becomes big and kind of on the trajectory of El Tour, and that we can hopefully open it up to other nonprofits. It's we're not an island unto ourselves, and I think that we all help Tucson, whether it's helping the homeless veterans that need supplies or need a laptop to be able to apply for a job, or a piece of equipment. And there's so many organizations that we can all partner and do great things in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of almost want to leave on two notes. One, how great of a supporting cast you have, and I definitely give you the opportunity to thank your board, your volunteers, the people that you have around you, and then the second note, how people can plug in to be one of those people.
Well, I have the most amazing board. I have 14 of the best, most active people. They're great networkers, and they show up for things. They're always there when I need them, and people can come and help us by visiting our website at wecaretucson.org or visiting us at 3029 North Stone, or you can call us at 520-514-1588, or you can even email us at info@wecaretucson.org.
And then you said you had 2 events that people can sign up for upcoming. How can they do that? And tell us those events one more time.
So it's our Cyborg Water Wars, and that is on July 26th, and you can sign up on our website for it. Okay. And as always, all of our events are free. Nice. We provide lunch for it. There is a $5 registration fee, just to secure your spot to make sure you show up. But otherwise, it's
if you're not even paying $5, you got to make sure you're going to show up.
You get to take the Cyborg.
It's too cool. It's too cool, especially in We don't have time to talk about it. How can people get a hold of you one last time?
They can reach us at wecaretucson.org or 520-514-1588.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
Thank
again.
you.
Mimi. That's Mimi with We Care Tucson. Definitely check them out. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. We thank you so much, as always, for listening. Definitely check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on the Tiki-Talkie. We are just about everywhere. We look forward to seeing you. We'll see you next week. God bless.